What is quadrilateral? How this figure looks like? Who knows it? So
Four sides.
So it has four sides, it has four vertex, four angles, right? 4 points, none of three, lying on the same straight line and interconnected will create you, let's put that here, will create a figure of quadrilateral, okay? So vertex are denoted with capital letters A, B, C, D. So you have four sides, A, B, B, C, C, D, or AD, and AD, right? And A, B, C, D are internal angles of quadrilateral, okay? Alpha, beta, gamma, and let's say phi. Alpha plus beta plus gamma plus phi, sum of internal angles equals to 360 degrees. Or you could divide it back through diagonal into two separate triangles, where first triangle will have internal angles of 180 and the second will have the same two. In total they will reach to 360 degrees, okay? And you have outer angles as you had in triangle. So gamma, outer angle to C angle will be 180 degrees minus gamma. So the same here, 180 degrees minus phi. 180 degrees minus beta and 180 degrees minus alpha. For A angle, you might have outer angle here too. Okay? 180 degrees minus alpha. It does not matter. Okay? So what is the sum of outer angles of quadrilateral? 180 degrees minus alpha, 180 degrees minus beta, 180 degrees minus gamma, 180 degrees minus phi. Equals to, let's find, equals to, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times of 180 degrees, and if you're releasing negative sign in front of your alpha, beta, gamma, phi, you will have the sum that is equal to 360 degrees. So 360 is twice of 180. So your result is 360 degrees. You had the same result. Okay, come in, hurry up. You had the same result for triangles, right? In any polygon, okay? In any polygon, sum of outer angles will reach to 360 degrees, okay? To find one outer angle for polygon, we will cover it. If it is a regular one, okay, it has equal size, you divide it by n to find one outer angle, and then you subtract this n, okay, 360 degrees over n from 180 degrees to find one internal angle of a triangle, of a polygon, okay, for a triangle too. So have you understood it? So you have two different diagonals. Your diagonal is denoted with the letter of D. D1 is not equal to D2, and here they are not perpendicular, okay, they are different. And it has an angle, obtuse angle, let's say, phi. And so acute angle and obtuse angle, 180 degrees minus phi. How to find the area of quadrilateral? A, B, C, D. It is equal to 1 over 2. Product of the diagonals, D1 multiplied by D2, and sine of the angle of phi, okay? So here you also have phi. Okay, let's write it W. Okay? Abbreviate W. Because in general, it is common to denote phi, the intersection. So the angle that is converged, right? That's brought from intersection point of diagonals. Phi, sine, phi. Okay, have you understood how to find the area of quadrilateral? 1 over 2, D1, D2, sine, phi. It is true for any quadrilateral. It does not matter. It does not necessarily mean that your quadrilateral should be rhombus, should be parallelogram, should be square, rectangle, or anything, okay? That has 4 angles or 4 sides. So 1 over 2, D1 multiplied by D2, sine, phi. And D1 square plus D2 square, sum of the squares of diagonals equals to sum of the squares of all sides. A, B, C, D. A square plus B square plus C square plus D square. Okay? So somebody told me that W plus beta should be equal to 180 degrees. Not necessarily, okay? Okay? Khata. Have you understood it? Good. It was general formula for introduction. This was an introduction to quadrilateral. If you did not understand, please ask. Have you understood? So, then let's go through parallelogram.
I have a question.
Yes?
About we will not have diagonals.
Diagonals? You will not have?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
How to find area without diagonals?
So it depends. You have to divide into two parts and find the area of this and second triangle and then add them. But without diagonal, you will not have the side of this triangle too. Right? That's why you need diagonal. If you don't have, you have to drop it. Okay? Yeah, it's 4 different areas here. You can find two and add them. Parallelogram. So, what is parallelogram? It is a sort or one category of quadrilateral. Parallelogram, it is saying parallel, right? Two opposite sides are parallel and different. Okay? And different. A, B. So, A, B. A, B, C, D. Your BC is parallel to AD, or your AB is parallel to DC. So two opposite sides are parallelogram. Okay? BD is a diagonal. That is the smallest one. And your AC is the largest diagonal. And at the intersection point, they have two, obtuse and acute, right? Acute angles. So the same formula could be true. To find the area of parallelogram, 1 over 2, d1 multiplied by d2 and sine of phi. Why we are just taking acute angle phi? Why? Actually, it does not matter. Why? Because sine phi equals to sine, if you are taking obtuse angle, 180 degrees minus phi, they are equal. From trigonometry, it is already proven for you guys, right? So sine 180 degrees minus phi equals to sine phi. It means it does not matter, okay, whether you are taking phi, obtuse acute angle, or obtuse angle 180 degrees minus phi. Okay? So we have different methods to find the area of parallelogram. So you have two sides AB and the angle alpha. It could be found as A multiplied by B multiplied by sine alpha. Okay? Yes, come in. Sine alpha. Or the area of parallelogram could be found by A being multiplied to the altitude. That is dropped to A side. HA. A multiplied by HA. Or it is equal to B multiplied by HB. Do you remember the area of a triangle where you had A multiplied by an altitude drop to Z side 1 over 2? Yes? Why you are having 1 over 2 there? So if you are dropping an altitude, a diagonal, okay? Diagonal, if you're releasing diagonal, it will be obvious that the area of this parallelogram is being divided into equal areas, right? The two equal triangles, right? First triangle, second one. So the formula of to find the area of a triangle, 1 over 2 HA multiplied by A, came from the area of parallelogram. Okay? So we are just halving the area of parallelogram to find the area of a triangle. Okay? Then HA A, HB B, right? So this is altitude dropped to B side. More formulas. S equals to HA multiplied by HB over sine, let's say sine W. What does W mean? Here I have a parallelogram. W is an angle between these two altitudes. Okay? To find an area, you multiply HA to HP and divide back to sine W. And W is an angle between these two altitudes being dropped to the sides. Okay? So, how to find a parameter? Parameter. It is equal to 2A plus B, right? So, the same could be true here. Square sum of diagonals, d1 square plus d2 square equals to 2 times of a square plus b square. Squares, sum of the squares of all sides, a square plus b square, plus you are having another a square plus b square, so you are releasing 2. Okay? 2a square plus 2b square. And let's talk about the angles of parallelogram. Alpha is an acute angle of parallelogram, and obtuse angle will be beta. Alpha plus beta will give you 180 degrees. Now here it is necessary. Yes, why it is necessary? Because the sides of parallelogram are parallel, right? And if you continue sides, alpha equals to this angle, because they are alternating angles. Alpha is supplementary angle to beta, so the sum of them will be equal to 180 degrees. Or alpha and beta are internal one-sided angles. That's internal one-sided angles. Sum of them will be 180 degrees. In any method, it will be proven. Okay? And opposite angles will be equal as opposite sides. Okay? Beta, beta. Alpha, alpha. So, do you have questions? No questions? Have you understood everything? Okay, copy. And one more thing we have to tell you, that in intersection point, let's say F point, your AF will be equal to FC. So at the intersection point of your diagonals will be halved. Okay? So they are equal. Now copy.
Всем привет, меня зовут Тимур. И на данный момент, благодаря учебному центру Real Science, я стал студентом Вестминстерского лицея в Ташкенте.
В свою очередь, тоже хочу выразить большую благодарность и радость в то, что мой сын поступил в Вестминстерский лицей, в лицей Интерхаус.
В первый день, когда я пришел на урок математики, нам сразу дали контрольные тесты и состоял из 15 вопросов. На первый тест я решил 7 вопросов из 15 правильно, и после этого по результатам тестов нас распределили по группам.
И это, я думаю, благодаря тому, что лицей имеет очень богатую именно учебную базу, потому что я, как бывший педагог, хочу отметить, что данный лицей очень оснастил именно учебными пособиями, именно по тем, которым непосредственно нужно для подготовки в эти лицеи. И когда мы сравнивали поступление в Интерхаус и в Вестминстер, конечно, в Вест было намного сложно поступить, но та база, которую дали здесь, этого было достаточно. Почему? Потому что, как я говорила, в телеграм-каналы всегда были высланы все необходимые учебные материалы, то есть какие-то конструкции по тому же английскому, какие-то формулы по математике, то есть какие-то книги, то есть основа, учебная основа, она была вся дана. Хочу вкратце рассказать о том, как мы нашли и как мы остановились на данном центре. В прошлом году, в августе месяце, я начала анализировать все учебные центры нашего города. И самые основные и более собирали большее количество отзывов, это был, значит, учебный центр 5 с плюсом и Real Science. Я не поленилась, я пошла в каждый учебный центр, я посидела на каждом пробном уроке. И единственное, центр, в котором мне понравилась дружелюбная атмосфера, компетентность учителей, психологический подход, индивидуальный подход к каждому ребенку. Это был только Real Science. Поэтому всем советую.
Каждый урок проходил особенно. На каждом уроке можно было узнавать много нового, но так как около меня очень веселый и жизнерадостный учитель, уроки скучно не проходили вообще, не было времени когда скучать.
И еще хочу отметить самый большой плюс данного центра. Велась непрерывная работа и контроль непосредственно руководства учителей, сотрудничество мое как родители и центра. У нас был специальный канал, в котором был полный отчет всех работ моего ребенка, то есть это контрольный, по которому я могла отслеживать, то есть мониторить, да, его знания. Да, были иногда спады, были и плюсы, но я видела вот это развитие. Плюс я была всегда в курсе всех домашних заданий, которые были даны. И, то есть в Real Science вовремя учителя оповещали меня в частности, да, о каких-то проблемах, возможно, то есть где нужно ребенка подтянуть, где нужно его как-то направить, воодушевить, потому что заниматься год упорно, так усердно, как занимается здесь, потому что здесь учеба была достаточно плотной и усердной, было нам тяжело именно умственно. И слава Богу, что мы справились. Хочу отметить ваш неоценимый труд и вклад в знания и в жизнь моего ребенка. Спасибо вам большое, что вы помогли нам реализовать наши мечты, наши цели, и с помощью вас мы достигли. Особую благодарность я выражаю руководству вашего центра, это Мансуракя, учителю математики Акилакя и учителям английского мисс Рози и мисс Малики. Спасибо вам большое. Как говорится, мечты становятся реальностью. Real Science, мечты сбываются.
Let's learn to the second subcategory of quadrilateral rhombus. Right? So how your rhombus differs from parallelogram. So the sides of rhombus are parallel and equal, okay? And equal. All of the sides. So two opposite sides are parallel, but all of the sides are equal. Now it looks like parallelogram. Right? Okay, Maxime. So all of the sides are equal. A. Alpha. So this is 180 degrees minus alpha. So what is the difference between parallelogram and rhombus? Is the diagonals of parallelogram will be perpendicular. Okay? D1 will be perpendicular to D2. They are not equal still. They are not, okay? They are just perpendicular. It means half of diagonal at intersection point will be D1 over 2, and half of another diagonal at intersection point will be D2 over 2. Or you can say D1 over 2 square plus D2 over 2 square equals to A square. So we are using Pythagorean theorem for any of the triangle here, okay? Or any of them. Actually they are equal triangles, right? Let's square D1 square plus D2 square equals to 4 times of A square. We already have this formula. How? Sum of the squares of the diagonals equals to sum squares of all the sides, right? So A square, A, 4 times of A square. So in some exercise, in most of the exercise, you will use D1 over 2, D2 over 2, and you just use Pythagorean theorem to release the value for your A side. So what is the area of this rhombus? Area equals to 1 over 2, D1 multiplied by D2, and that's it. We used to have sine phi, right? Your phi is here is 90 degrees, right? Sine in 90 degrees reach to maximum value, 1. So that's it, okay? D1, D2, product of diagonals, halved. The area. From another side, it is equal to sine alpha A square. So in parallelogram, you used to have A, and this side was B, right? A multiplied by B, and the sine alpha, where your acute angle is alpha. Now you're having sine alpha AA. It means A square. Okay? Or it is similarly for parallelogram. similar to parallelogram, right? H multiplied by A, that's it, right? Altitude, drop it to A side will be equal to this side too. For parallelogram it was different. Now it is the same, because you are having same sides, right? A, H, H. Altitudes are equal. Have you understood it? So what is the parameter of rhombus?
4A.
4A, right? 4A. I guess easy, right? So again, A, B, C, D. Your AB is parallel to CD, and your BC is parallel. Okay, this is C, parallel to AD. Sum of internal angles equals to 360 degrees. That we have proven. Thus, sum of outer angles equals to 360 degrees. So, what is left?
Rectangle and square.
So, the diagonal of rhombus will be bisector 2. Okay? Will be bisector 2. So if you're releasing diagonal, it will divide your angle into 2 equal angles. Okay? Beta, beta. Okay, this beta over 2, beta over 2, alpha over 2, alpha over 2. If your acute angle in your rhomb is alpha and obtuse angle is beta, so it will be bisector alpha over 2, beta over 2, beta over 2. And here it is proven that alpha over 2 plus beta over 2 equals to, plus over 2 over 2, equals to alpha plus beta over 2. So here we have alpha and beta summed equals to 180 degrees, right? 180 degrees over 2, or it's equal to 90 degrees. For this angle, you are left with 90. So it is proven that if diagonal is the bisector of your rhombus, they will have intersection. At intersection points, they will have 90 degrees. Or two diagonals will be perpendicular. Okay? Yes?
Are these triangles between diagonals are equal?
Triangles between diagonals. They are, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes. Because they have equal sides and equal angles. So they are equal. So for parallelogram, if you are releasing a bisector and diagonal, they will be different. And so this is diagonal, right? This is bisector, L. Bisector is denoted with the letter of L. So it is cutting your angles into 2 equal angles, alpha over 2, alpha over 2, and your line segment x will be equal to smaller side. Okay, it will be equal to smaller side. If you have, let's say, parallelogram, something like this one, large parallelogram, as Maxim told us. So, if you are releasing bisector from this side, x, x. So if it is saying your smaller side is 2, yes, this is 2, and your largest side is 5, yes, almost twice and a half fold, right? So what is left for this line segment? What is left?
5 over 2.
So in total you have 5, 2, 2. This line segment is 1. Okay? So good. Let's cover rectangle. Rectangle is similar to parallelogram and square is similar to rhombus, right? Rectangle will have parallel opposite sides and equal opposite sides, right? Sides, okay? Two sides will be perpendicular to one another. A, B, C, D. BC is parallel to AD, and BA is, let's say, perpendicular to BC. Okay? They are perpendicular. So opposite sides are equal. We have told you A, B, B. What is the parameter of rectangle? 2A plus B, right? So two diagonals are equal. D1 equals to D2. And if you are releasing two diagonals, they will have at the intersection point. They will have acute and one obtuse angle. To find an area, you use general formula 1/2 d1 multiplied by d2 over sine phi. Okay, you can take 180 degrees minus phi or phi. It doesn't matter. From another side, your area will be equal to A multiplied by B, right? A multiplied by B. As if your A side is altitude drop to your B side, or BC is an altitude drop to your CD side. So A multiplied by B gives you area. Do you remember what was the area of right angular triangle? Right angular triangle. Right angular triangle, let's say 1/2 AB, right? AB. So why?
From this.
Yes, it came from this rectangle, okay? It is half of rectangle. So you are recreating or filling your right angular triangle by another right angular triangle that is equal to the area and to the size of itself. You are creating a rectangle, okay? A multiplied by B. That's why for right angular triangle you are having A multiplied by B multiplied by half. Okay? You are having them. Have you understood it? So more d1 square plus d2 square equals to 2 times of a square plus b square. But here your d1 equals to d2, right? D square, twice of it, equals to twice of a square plus b square. Or the square of its diagonal equals to square sum of the squares of the sides. Not sides, square of a and b, okay? If you are saying sides, you have to twice your a square and twice your b square. Actually, it was obvious, because your diagonal and your sides are creating right angular triangle. You are using Pythagorean theorem to prove it. A square plus b square equals to diagonal squared. Okay? Copy.
Здравствуйте! Наконец-то, буквально 2 дня назад вышли долгожданные результаты экзамена в Вестминстерский лицей. До последнего момента я боялась того, что моя заветная мечта может не осуществиться. Но теперь, когда все за плечами, я верю, я знаю, что в этом мире нет ничего невозможного. И вы тоже сможете. Поэтому не нужно бояться, и нужно быть уверенным в своих знаниях. Подкрепить эту уверенность можно в замечательном моем любимом учебном центре Real Science, который помог мне поступить в Вестминстерский лицей. На протяжении 6 месяцев я упорно занималась, старалась, и теперь моя заветная мечта исполнилась. Спасибо Real Science за то, что он помог мне осуществить мою мечту. Придя в первый раз в Real Science 6 месяцев назад, я даже не представляла, насколько насыщенным будет обучение здесь. Здесь очень интересно учиться. Книги, материалы, которые давали нам учителя, очень интересны к познанию, очень интересно их изучать, именно поэтому наше обучение проходило так легко и быстро. 6 месяцев – это не так много, но и не так мало. Подготовка – это процесс, который требует всего вашего внимания, ваших сил, поэтому вы должны быть подготовлены к подготовке даже. Наши учителя все свое время потратили на наше обучение, на нашу подготовку к этому экзамену, поэтому мы сработали на все 100. В учебном центре Real Science руководство очень заботится об учениках, об их обучении. Если вас переводят в другую группу посильнее, побольше часов, так и должно быть. Ведь они смотрят на вашу успеваемость, считывают с этого ваш нужный вам багаж знаний. На протяжении нашего обучения в Real Science мы проходили те темы, которые нам попались на самом экзамене. С нашим учителем по математике около КЯ мы решали из презентации, которую он составил, те задачи, которые нам попались на экзамене. Нам было легче, чем другим, поэтому мы вам советуем приходить в Real Science, Ведь здесь проверенные материалы, которые помогут вам поступить. То количество эссе, которые мы написали, это просто не счесть. Мисс Малика давала нам очень много домашнего задания, и мы прорешивали, писали эссе дома. Это помогло нам больше понять структуру эссе, запомнить. Это помогло нам на экзамене. Придя в Real Science, я думала, что у меня хорошие знания. У меня ведь и были хорошие знания, но этого не хватает для того, чтобы поступить в Вестминстерский лицей, где конкурс из 2000 человек проходит лишь 150, поэтому нужно готовиться еще больше. Не хватает только нашей школьной программы. Школьной программы недостаточно для того, чтобы стать одним из 150 лучших в Узбекистане. Ведь в Вестминстерский лицей хотят поступить все. Я вам советую не спорить с учителями. И то количество домашней работы, которые они вам задают, пригодится вам в дальнейшем. Ведь вы сможете принимать больше информации, больше объем информации будет усваиваться в вашей голове. Я желаю вам успехов, ведь вы все сможете. В этом мире, где так много возможностей, нет ничего невозможного. Я хочу поблагодарить мой любимый учебный центр Real Science за то, что мой багаж знаний пополнился просто на громадное количество материалов. Мы занимались по американским, английским учебникам, которые считаются самыми лучшими в мире. Я хочу выразить огромную благодарность нашим учителям и всему персоналу Real Science за моральную поддержку, за то, что вы вселили в меня уверенность, и за то, что я смогла осуществить мою заветную мечту. Спасибо большое. С Real Science нет ничего невозможного.
Square. They're saying square. So the area of a square is square of the side, right? That's why it is called square. So A, your diagonal will be equal to under root of 2A. Right? You are using Pythagorean theorem. A square plus A square, twice of A square equals to diagonal square. Your diagonal, if you're releasing square root from both sides, you're having under root of 2A equals to diagonal. So it is a bisector. Your diagonal is bisector 45 degrees, 45 degrees. So you are having equal opposite sides for equal angles. Your first diagonal equals to the second diagonal. If you are using d1 multiplied by d2 over 2 multiplied by sine phi formula for general quadrilateral, your sine phi gives you maximum value of sine 1. So you are releasing it, you are dropping it, okay? d1 multiplied by d2 over 2. It means the product of your diagonals over 2. Your d1 equals to d2. So d square over 2. Or you can see 0.5 d square. So it is similar to rhombus. D1 is perpendicular to D2. Yes. So diagonals are perpendicular, equal. They are the same. Sides are the same. Perimeter equals to 4 times of A. And that's it. What is left, students? One angle, one internal angle is 90 degrees. One outer angle is the same as internal angle, 90 degrees. Sum of internal angles equals to 360 degrees. Sum of outer angles equals to 360 degrees too. Right? So, I think you have no questions from square topic, or do you? No? Okay, let's solve some exercises from some book, okay?
How do you explain
Trapezium? Okay, let's look at it too. So trapezoid, okay? Trapezium. So trapezia, right? So what is trapezium? It is a one category of quadrilateral, right? Two opposite sides are parallel, but other two are not. Okay? A, B, C, D. Your BC is parallel to AD, but they are not equal. Okay, your BA is not equal to CD2. So here you have four different sides, A, B, C, D. What is common for this trapezoid if you are dropping an altitude to AD side? From B and from C, they will be equal, right? So F1, let's say. CF1 is an altitude, drop it to AD side and is equal to BF side. So let's talk about angles. Your A angle. So if you're creating a parallelity between BC and AD lines by continuing these lines, I mean BC, AD and AB, you will face one-sided angles here, meaning that angle of A plus angle of B equals to 180 degrees. For angle C plus angle D, you have the same 180 degrees. You are following the same pattern here. You are continuing and creating straight lines to see that one-sided angles somewhat will be equal to 180 degrees. So some of the internal angles equal to 360 degrees again, some of the outer angles equal to 360 degrees again, okay? So, how to find the area of trapezoid? So, yes, A plus B over 2 multiplied by hash. So here your A and B are bases, okay? Bases. AD is the largest base and BC is the smallest. So B is parallel to A. You find midline to this trapezoid, okay? Midline. So what was the midline? Midline was parallel to the base for a triangle, let's say. For a triangle, it was parallel to the base, and it was half of the base, right? Half of the base. Here, your bases are A and B. If you continue, you will create triangle. And if you find midline, 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 you will create A plus B over 2, okay? So multiplied by hash will be the area of trapezoid, okay? Or you can use D1, D2 for 2. So let's draw it. We have more to tell to you. D1, D2. D1 is not equal to D2 if your sides are not equal. Okay? If they are not equal. If you have trapezoid with equal sides, your diagonals will be equal. Okay? Otherwise not. So it is different. A, B, C, D, let's say. So at the intersection point of diagonals, you will have some angle, let's say phi angle. So your area could be found 1 over 2 multiplied by D1, D2 sine phi. Sine phi. And here, look, F, A, B, C, D. You have similar triangles. Similar, подобные. Your triangle of BFC is similar to the triangle of AFD. Okay, AFD triangle is similar to BFC. Let's do something like this. Now it will be obvious for you. How they are similar? If this angle is alpha, your B angle, a part of B angle, will be alpha 2. So they are vertical angles, right? Phi, phi again. So if this angle is beta, it will be beta 2. Okay? Beta, beta, alpha, alpha. So BFC is similar to AFD, meaning that what is the opposite side for this triangle? For alpha, AF over, here you have alpha, CF. For beta, you are having FD over, for beta, you are having BF, right? BF. So meaning that AF, where is that AF? AF divided by CF, that's AF divided by CF equals to FD divided by BF. Okay? This one divided by this equals to this divided by this. So No, this divided by this, okay? Or you cross multiply, meaning that BF equals to BF multiplied by AF equals to FG multiplied by FC. FC multiplied by AF, so AF. BF multiplied by AF equals to CF multiplied by FD, right? FD multiplied by CF equals to BF multiplied by FA. So, and let's say here we have S1, S2, S1 over S2, 1 over 2. So, AF over CF will create you a ratio, right? Ratio in linear form, okay? 1 over 2 or 3 over 5. So if you're asked to find ratio of the areas, you whether you will square them, or if you are given the ratio of the areas, you take square root to find actual ratio in their linear parameters. Okay? This is from similarity. On top of that, your triangle of ABF is similar. ABF is similar to CFG. CFG. Okay? And you can take a ratio too. This to this, I don't know, this to this, you will find. Okay? So know that they are similar. Can we erase? This was general, okay? That all of the sides are different. Let's say it has the same size. Okay? C, A, B. So to find the area, use the following formula, right? Following formula. If you're dropping an altitude. So here, if you are dropping an altitude, so we have to tell it here too. Okay, let's drop an altitude. If this line segment is x, what is left here? What is left here? B minus x, right? B minus x. So if you're dropping another altitude, let's say it will be y. So yes, it will be y, and a equals to this line segment. So b minus x minus a is your y. You can use Pythagorean theorem for this or for this triangle, okay, on your convenience. Note that your altitude is the same for two of Pythagorean theorems, okay? You can use and find x or y values. So here, A, B, so parallel, they are parallel, right? Parallel basis. C, your sides are equal. One line segment will be equal to another line segment where A will be dropped here, right? A plus 2 times of x equals to B. Your x equals to B minus A over 2. Or B minus A over 2. To find an altitude, you can use Pythagorean theorem, h square, right? Plus B minus A over 2 square plus, so equals to, right? C square. Yes? You can use it. And so, will it be true if we are saying this line segment will be A plus B over 2 midline? Do you think it will be true if we say something like this? Okay, let's prove it. B minus A over 2 is this small line segment. And this line segment has a measure of A. If you add these two, you give common denominator and you're having twice of A minus A plus B over 2. Or is equal to A plus B over 2. Right? So it is midline. Okay? It is midline. To find an area, if you have this line segment, it will be A plus B over 2. You multiply it to altitude. Okay? The rest of the formulas are written and true for this trapezoid too. Your first diagonal equals the second diagonal. Diagonal, diagonal. Okay? C side, A side, B side. first diagonal and second diagonal. S1, S2, S3, S3. So the area of third figure will be equal to fourth figure, or S3, okay, S3 will be equal to under the root of S1 multiplied by S2. Okay? Product of first and second area taking square root, or S1 multiplied by S2 will be equal to S3 multiplied by S3. S1, S2, S3, S3. Okay? So from where did we come to this conclusion? From similarity. Okay, from similarity. So, have you understood it, students? Have you understood it? Do you have questions? You have formulas to learn, okay?
Is
What
it
is
true
this?
that figure inside this trapezoid is square?
Square? Where? Here you mean?
Yeah.
It is not.
Oh.
It might be if your altitude equals to A. Right-angled trapezoid. So let's have altitude. Altitude. So it is equal to one of the sides. So C side, A side, in general B side. What is the measure for this line segment? B minus A, right? So B minus A on the power of 2 plus H square equals to C square. So diagonals are different, and the diagonal here, D1, first diagonal, equals to squared, equals to A square plus H square, right? You are using Pythagorean theorem for more size, but it does not necessarily mean that your D1 is perpendicular to C side. It might be, but it might not be too. Okay? But what is obvious, to find an area of this triangle, an altitude dropped will be equal to the side. Okay? Altitude multiplied by B and halved, plus A multiplied by H. A multiplied by H over 2, plus, I'm talking about the area of trapezoid, okay? Plus H multiplied by B multiplied by 1 over 2. If you are releasing 1 over 2 H out of the bracket, you have A plus B, or H multiplied by midline, right? So formula is proven. Okay? Have you understood it? Good. More to say? Parameter, you add all of the sides. Area for diagonals D1, D2, sine phi. So first diagonal is not equal to second diagonal, and here your degree is phi. So use that general formula, 1 over 2, D1, D2, sine phi again. Okay, you can whether take acute angle or obtuse angle. It does not matter.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Мирханов Мирамон, я выпускник учебного центра Real Science. У каждого из нас есть мечта. Моей детской мечтой было стать студентом академического лицея Вестминстера в Ташкенте. Оно было для меня несбыточной мечтой до того момента, как я нашел в интернете учебный центр Real Science. Для меня учиться в этом учебном центре было большой радостью, большой удачей, так как здесь я обрел своих друзей, и здесь я учился у самых лучших учителей, которые есть в Ташкенте. Благодаря нашим учителям, Окалеке, мисс Малика, мисс Роза, я получил обширный диапазон знаний, и благодаря этим знаниям я поступил в академический лицей. Хотел бы отметить высокую квалификацию, высокую эффективность учебных курсов, учебного центра. Для меня было большой радостью, и хотел бы сказать то, что без тех знаний, которые дали нам учебный центр Real Science, я бы не решил бы на экзамене и половину тех заданий, которые были. Выражаю большую благодарность учебному центру и хочу сказать будущим абитуриентам, будущим студентам, кто хочет поступить в наилучшие университеты и колледжи в Ташкенте, как INHA, Вестминстер, Интерхаус, Губкина. Идите сюда, и вам обязательно помогут, и вы обязательно, дай бог, поступите. Real Science – супер!
So we are done with topics of quadrilateral, okay? We have covered square, we have covered the rectangle, parallelogram, rhombus, and in general quadrilateral and trapezoid. Okay, let's see some of the exercises. 54 from Sandbook. ABC trapezoid is given. Okay. A, B, C, D trapezoid. BC equals to 8, so it is a base, and an altitude drop to base equals to 10. So altitude drop to AD will be the same altitude drop to BC. Okay, 90, 90. You have to find the area of a trapezoid if the area of a triangle ACD, so ACD, this triangle, equals to 60. So it is equal to 60. So how to find it? So we have told you that altitude drop to BC, to AD, equals to C, let's say, F1 and F2. F2. It is 2, 10, 2, right? So area of ACD will be equal to altitude drop to the side of AD, and AD multiplied to that altitude halved, right? So it is 5 times of AD, and your area equals to 60, right? Can you find AD from here? Yes, of course, it is equal to 12, right? So your AD is 12. How you find the area of a trapezoid? Midline, A plus B, A. So A plus B over 2 multiplied by altitude drop 10, right? 20 over 2, 10, 10 on the power of 2 is 100. Okay? How did you find what? AD. So area is equal to 60, right? 60. So 60 equals to AD multiplied by altitude and halved. Yes? Triangle, area of a triangle. AD multiplied by 10, altitude drop to AD side, and half of it. So there happens cancellation. 5 times of AD equals to the area of ACD. So it is 60. You find AD by dividing 5. 60 being divided by 5. It is 12, okay? So the rest is obvious. We are just using the formula. (51) Area of trapezoid equals to 594, and an altitude drop it is equal to 22. A minus B equals to 6. You have to find bigger side, bigger base. A, right? You have to find A, not B. Why? Because A minus B gives you positive number. It means your A is greater than your B. So you have to find A side. If A and B are prospective bases. So area of trapezoid equals to midline A plus B over 2 multiplied by an altitude. Your altitude equals to, at the same time, 22, right? If you're putting 22, there happens cancellation. So 11 times of A plus B equals to 594. So is 594 divisible by 11? Yes, it is. 5 plus 4, 9 minus 9, 0, right? So A plus B equals to 54. A minus B equals to 6. So let's add them. 2 times of A equals to 60. Your A is 30. Well, what is the measure for your measure of the line segment for your smaller base? 24. Okay. (29) So isosceles trapezoid is given to you that have the same sides and the diagonal. First diagonal equals to the second diagonal, right? So it is equal to 8 under root of 3. So your diagonal is having 30-degree angle with the base, okay? You have to find midline. A plus B over 2. So, how to find it? How to find it? Which formula? Which formula to use? So your diagonal is 8 under the root of 3. So how to find it? Диагональ равнобедренной трапеции равна и составляется большим основанием угол 30 градусов. Okay, 30 degrees, right? So we don't know this angle, right? X. So which formula to use, students? Okay, copy, we will see right now. Copy. Done? So if you're dropping altitude to the base, this line will be midline, right? It is midline. So you can use cotangent, let's say cosine, okay? Cosine is 30 degrees. For a right angle at triangle, cosine 30 equals to adjacent leg divided by hypotenuse, right? Adjacent leg is that midline, right? Let's say it is midline. X over 8 under the root of 3. If you multiply 8 under the root of 3 to cosine 30 degree, you get your midline. So it is under the root of, 8 under the root of 3 multiplied by, can you tell me the value of cosine 30 degree? Over 2. It is equal to 4 multiplied by 3, so 12. Okay, your midline is 12. Have you understood it? Shahnaza? Good. Sine theorem. It was in trigonometry. You also had this, right? In trigonometry. And you have separate topic for a triangles too. But you already know it from trigonometry. So 31. Again, you are given isosceles trapezoid with the sides being the same, and C, A, B. A minus B equals to C. You have to find obtuse angle of this trapezoid. Okay, Maxim, how to find it? I don't know it. Okay. So let's drop an altitude. Okay. Again, we are creating Pythagorean theorem. Okay, something like this one. Here, your C side equals to A minus B. So your altitude, we don't know it, right? You have to find this angle. So what is the measure for this line segment? A, okay, B minus A. Here it is equal to B minus A because your largest base equals to B, right? B minus A gives you a positive number right now. B minus A, yes? For these two line segments, that's why you divide it back by 2. So let's find sine angle X. Sine X degrees equals to B minus A over 2 over B minus A. And that happens cancellation. So it is equal to 1 over 2. What is the value of X? That is equal to 1 over 2. Sine of the X, right? X equals to 60? 35. 45. No, 30 degrees. So 30 degrees. You have to find obtuse angle, so you add 90 to it, right? So what is the measure of this angle? 120 degrees. 90 plus 30. Okay? Interesting question. Again? Yes. Okay. In trapezoid, we have told you that if you drop an altitude for isosceles, right? The same, that has same sides. This line segment will be equal to this one. Thus, if it is x, this will be x2. So you drop a measure as it is. B minus a will be the sum of these two x, right? So you divide it back by 2 to get one of it. B minus a divided by 2 is the measure for x. So from trigonometry, we are using sine x, okay? This x is different. X angle, sine x equals to opposite leg divided by hypotenuse, right? In right angle triangle. Opposite leg divided by hypotenuse. So you are getting 1 over 2 as your sine x. So your x in degrees equal to 30 degrees, or pi over 6, right? And back, you are adding 90 degrees to create your obtuse angle. So your acute angle was 60. Have you understood it? Good. One more problem. So 37, again, isosceles, trapezoid. Diagonal of a trapezoid equals to 16 and the root of 3. And it has a degree of 30 degree, right? 30 degree with a base. You have to find a plus b over 2. So how to find it? How to find it? If you are dropping an altitude, this line segment will be midline. Yes, again, it is similar to this problem, right? So you're having 8 under the root of 3. Here you will have, okay, let's calculate it. Cosine 30 degrees equal to cosine 30. Adjacent leg a plus b over 2 divided by hypotenuse 8 under the root of 3, right? So if you multiply it here, you get under root of 3 over 2, 8 under root of 3, 2. Okay, let's leave a plus b as it is, a plus b over 2. There happens cancellation. 4 times 4 multiplied by 3.
12.
Again 12.
Yeah. No, it was not 8.
It was 16, right? Yeah, that's to be correct.
8.
16, right? So you get 8 multiplied by 3. 24, right? So this trapezoid is similar to this trapezoid. It is being enlarged by its linear parameters twice, right? So your k equals to 2, 8 under root of 3, 60 under root of 3. Here your result was for midline 12, now it is twice of it. Okay? So your first trapezoid is similar to the second one, and your coefficient of similarity is 2. Okay? If you are talking about their areas, let's say, area, if you have S area, here, what will be the area of similar trapezoid?
Twice of S?
No.
S square.
Yes. 4 times of S, okay? For linear parameters, your k will stay. For quadratic, for square parameters, it will be k square. For volumes, it will be k cube. Okay? Good. Copy.
Men Ahmadjonov Behruzning onasiman. Behruzning bu yerga o'qishini kelishini sababi sinfdosh shu yerda o'qirdi. Shuni orqali keldim, uchrashdim, gaplashdim. Meni tanishtirishdi, har biri bo'ladigan, o'qitadigan jarayonlarni menga yoqdi. O'g'limga ham yoqqani uchun shu yerda qoldirdik. Lekin bolam bizni vнимание qo'ygani yo'q. Har doim menga telefon qilib xabar olib turishardi. Men bitta ball sal tushyapti, harakatni ko'proq qilsin. Men bitta mana bunaqa bo'lyapti deb juda ham oxirigacha ushlab turishdi. Shu yerda o'qiganda men juda ham xursandman. Bolam bo'sh vaqti bo'lgani yo'q. Faqat shu dars bilan juda ham mashg'ul edi. Bu hammasi o'qituvchilarning talabi. Men juda ham xursandman bundan. Mana shu qilgan mehnatinglar, bergan biliminglar oqibati, o'zini harakati oqibatida mana omad bo'lib o'qishga kiribdi. Biz ham juda ham xursandmiz. Rahmat sizlarga.
Я Ахмаджанова Бехруз, я один из учеников Real Science. Я начал здесь учебу с середины сентября и продолжил до этого времени. Когда я пришел в этот центр учиться на английском языке, у меня был уровень intermediate. Я сюда пришел, я понял, что мой уровень был ниже, чем intermediate. И благодаря учителям мой уровень повысился несколько раз, и я начал без проблем успевать и писать эссе, правильно делать ридинги и use of English. Те вещи, которые преподавали в этом центре, много чего попалось в экзамене в Вестминстерском лицее. Благодаря усилиям учителей и внимательности администрации я добился очень даже больших успехов. Учителя всегда требовали от меня высокие баллы, высокие оценки. Не 100%, а 101 и больше. И всегда благодаря этому я в этот раз получила очень даже большой балл.
Men bu yoqqa kelganimda shu Oqiljon bilan gaplashganimda aytgan edilar. 101% kirishdi. Shu aytganligini ustidan chiqishdi. Boshda kirarmikan yo просто gapmikan dedim, yo gapligini ustidan chiqishdi. 101% kirish bo'ldi bizda.
Real science super.
Let's start from second one. So the area of rhombus equals to 18 and one of diagonal equals to 9. What is second diagonal equals to? So we know the formula. 1 over 2, d1 multiplied by d2, right? Here your d1 equals to 9, you have to find d2. What is the measure for your d2? So there happens cancellation, 2, 4. Right? 7. You have to find the area of rhombus. If one side equals to 10 and d1 over d2 equals to 4 to 3. So the ratio of diagonals is given and the side of a rhombus is given. You have to find the area of rhomb. Okay, d1, d2. 4x, 3x, right? 4x, in total you have your diagonal length as 4x, but half of it at the intersection point, it will be halved, right? 2x and 1.5x. So your a side is 10. You can use Pythagorean theorem to find your x value. 4x squared plus 9 over 4x squared, right? Equals to 100. So 6.25x squared equals to 100. Because here you have 2.25x squared. You add 4, you get 6.25x squared equals to 100. You take square root from both sides. 2.5x equals to 10. And your x equals to, if you divide your 10 by 2.5, you get 4. So your x is 4. Your first diagonal, where is that? Okay, your first diagonal equals to 4x. 16. Your second diagonal equals to 3x, 12. So the area is 1 over 2, first diagonal, second diagonal. 8 multiplied by 12, 96. Okay? We have to find an altitude of rhombus that has diagonals of 12 and 16. So, how to do that? Your first diagonal is 12, your second diagonal is 16. You have to find altitude. What is an area of this rhombus? Rhombus, right? 12, 16 multiplied by 1 over 2. 8, 96, right? And this 96 from another side equals to a multiplied by h, right? How to find a to find h? We know that a square, 4 times of a square equals to d1 square plus d2 square, right? So 4 times of a square equals to d1 square, 144, plus d2 square, 100, okay, 256. In total, you have 400 divided by 4, you get a square being equals to 100. Your a is 10. Your h equals to altitude 9.6. So, do we have parallelogram here? 32. So first diagonal of parallelogram equals to second diagonal. No, it is saying first diagonal equals to 6 and second diagonal equals to 8. And your phi equals to 30. You have to find area. Okay. The area equals to 1 over 2, and 8, 6 sine of 30 degrees. So it is equal to 12, right? 39. So the size of parallelogram has the ratios of 3 to 5. You have to find the area of parallelogram if perimeter equals to 48, and 1 degree is 120 degrees, one angle, okay? So, what to do? Their parameter is 48. It means 5x plus 3x doubled equals to 48, right? It means 24 equals to 8x. Your x equals to 3. It means your smaller side is 9, your largest side is 15. If you are dropping in altitude, so what are you gonna have then? Actually, no need to drop an altitude. Just open this angle, 120 degrees plus some number equals to 180 degrees. So this number is 60 degrees. To find an area, you multiply first side to the second side and sine 60 degrees. So 50 multiplied by 9 is 135. 135 and root of 3 over 2 is your answer. Okay? Divide it. Okay, if you want, yes. 39. Yes, you have to divide back. So 67.5 and the root of 3. D is your answer. Okay. 44. You have to find the obtuse angle of parallelogram if alpha plus, если сумма двух его углов. Okay, alpha plus alpha, okay, equals to 100 degrees. You have to find the largest one, okay, biggest angle. Your alpha equals to 50 degrees, your beta equals to 130 degrees. That's it. Easy, right? 52. I think it's not easy. ABCD parallelogram. AC is ABCD. AC is perpendicular to CD. How it might be perpendicular? How? Yes? No. How can it be perpendicular?
After the intersection. Maybe
let's say A, B, C, G. Again, CG. What was that? AC. AC. Oh my God. Okay.
confused.
No, you are confused. AC is perpendicular to CG. Right now, it might be. Right? AD. CE is perpendicular to AD. CE perpendicular to AG. So you are dropping in altitude. It is cutting your AG at E point. AE equals to 16. AE equals to 16. And EG equals to 4. Find area of parallelogram. So in right angle triangle, if you're dropping an altitude to the hypotenuse, your altitude will be altitude squared will be equal to projections product, right? So your altitude equals to 64, it's 8, right? So it is 8. So you use Pythagorean theorem to open the side of CD. CD square equals to 8 square plus 4 square. So your CD equals to square, let's say. 64 plus 16 or 80. Your CD is 4 under the root of 5. Yes. So how to find area? Your area equals to, so parallelogram, right? Par. 8 multiplied by, so no need to find CD actually. Yes, no need to find it. 8 multiplied by 4 plus 16. Yes, 20. 160. So, have you understood, students? Can we erase? No? Okay, copy.
Меня зовут Искандар Мачанов. Я прибыл с другой страны буквально месяц назад. И на протяжении каких-то 20 дней я смог добиться такого успеха, которого никто даже не мог вообразить.
Ну и как положительный результат, он поступил в 2 лицея. В Туринский лицей и в Вестминстерский лицей. Теперь нам приходится сидеть и думать, куда бы нам, какой лицей выбрать.
И это все благодаря моим учителям, Охлаке и мисс Малика, и самому центру учебному Real Science.
О самом центре очень положительное впечатление. Большое спасибо преподавателям за те знания, которые дали.
Каждый день, утром, ночью я сидел за математикой, за английским языком. Я не писал столько сочинений никогда в жизни. Вот такое количество сочинений я вообще никогда не писал. Это буквально за эти 20 дней я смог добиться из низшего уровня до одного из лучших среди этих 1600 человек, которые сдавали экзамен.
Искандар занимался каждый день в течение, получается, по 4 пары. В течение 20 дней он занимался.
Первые дни, когда я только пришел в этот учебный центр, я думал о том, что сдаться, чтобы пойти дальше в школу учиться. А так, на данный момент я смог поступить в 2 лучших лицея Ташкента. Это Вестминстерский лицей и Турин.
Постоянно я следила за результатами. То есть вот мне что понравилось, постоянно были какие-то обратная связь была.
Атмосфера в данном центре, она меня поддерживала и мотивировала дальше работать. Приходили дети, которые поступили в лицей, которые давали мотивационную речь, и она вдохновила меня на то, чтобы я работал, учился без остановки. И я так и делал.
Что до этого мы заканчивали 9 класс в другом городе и не имели возможности с начала года заниматься.
Благодаря тому, что мои учителя всегда поддерживали меня, я смог добиться этих успехов и без какой-либо помощи и поддержки моих одногруппников, которые всегда стояли возле доски и объясняли каждый момент, который я не понимал, я смог достичь тех результатов, которые некоторые из них даже не смогли. А насчет учебной программы это помогло нереально, потому что, сдавая по математике экзамен, я заметил, что было то, что мы прошли, то, что мы прорешали, и у нас буквально были уже ответы, которые мы знали. И если бы не это, я бы вряд ли смог как поступить сюда.
Уже советуем, в процессе советовали и будем советовать именно идти в Real Science, учиться, потому что, думаю, будет всегда, ваши будут труды вознаграждены, старания будут вознаграждены.
Понравилось то, что есть телеграм-канал, есть несколько телеграм-каналов, в которых выложено очень много информации о математике, об английском языке, которые очень сильно помогли мне выучить ту программу, которую я упустил на протяжении этих 9 лет школьной учебы.
Большое спасибо центру, большое спасибо учителям, преподавателям.
И я лично советую прийти в Real Science и не просто просиживать время на стуле, качаясь, а упорно учиться, слушать учителей и следовать их указаниям. Так, только этим способом можно добиться того, что ты хочешь, и поймать свою мечту. Большое спасибо учителям, моим одногруппникам и вообще всему центру Real Science.
Мы всегда за Real Science.
Good. So the size of parallelogram equals to 11 and 23. And the diagonals d1 over d2 has the ratio of 2 to 3. Let's find the largest diagonal, G2. So, first of all, let's bring them into ratios. 2x and 3x, right? 2x and 3x. And let's use this formula. d1 square plus d2 square equals to 2 times of a square plus b square. As a single formula will help you to define the value of x, right? So 3x on the power of 2 is 9x squared plus 2x on the power of 2 is 4x squared equals to twice of a squared. Can you tell me the square of 23? 529 plus the square of 11 is 121. If you add them, you get 650, right?
50, yeah.
50. Here you have 13x squared equals to 2 multiplied by 650. And there happens cancellation, 50. Your x is 10. Yes? Good. Let's solve some exercise from rectangles, okay? I think it will be easy for you. You will face no hardship. 18. So the area of rectangle is 400 and A over B equals to 40 to 1. You have to find the parameter. So area is A multiplied by B. It means 4x multiplied by x. So you get 4x squared. You divide by 4. Your x equals to 10. So 40 plus 10 multiplied by 2. You get 100 as a parameter. 28. If A side is being is increasing, right, by 20%, and your B side is being increased by 10%. So how will it affect your area? So area equals to A multiplied by B, right? Previously, originally. Now it is 20% increase means 1.2A and 10% increase 1.1B. You multiply the 1.2A to 1.1B and you get 1.2 multiplied by 1.1 is 1.32. AB, your AB should be replaced by S. So it is obvious that your S has increased your area by 32%. Okay? You are increasing its side by 20% and your width, your length by 10%. Its area will not increase by 30%, okay? It will increase by 32%. Good. So let's solve 5. Let's solve 5. You have a combination there, you see? Triangle with square. F, E, A, C, G, C, G, B. A, E, and E, F. Okay, you are drawing a rectangle. Okay, not a rectangle. Square, right? Quadrat. So, X, 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 X has the same side, right? And you are continuing their sides, E and F, and you are connecting that EF side, and it is intersecting your another angle at C. Okay? BG. Okay, CF is parallel to the diagonal of BG, it is saying. So, if the area of square equals to 3, we have to find the area of AFE. AFE. So, Maxim? Under root of 3. Yes, your x, but no need for that. Under root of 3, okay. It is saying that area of rectangle equals to 3. So, what is the area of this? Let's say triangle. 1.5, right? And it's saying BD is parallel to CE, and it is half of it. So it is midline. BD is midline, okay? So the area of AFE is 4 times of ABG. So it's going to be 4 times of ABG is 1.5, right? 1.5. So you get 6 as your answer, okay? For it's being divided into 4 equal areas. Good. Copy, students, and your lesson is over. Your home task will be from Sandbook to solve more exercise on quadrilaterals, okay?
Hi guys, my name is Dolnamaz Arsakova and I came to Real Science 2 months prior to the entrance exams. Before I came here, the chances of me getting accepted were quite slim, but after 2 months of hard work from my teachers and their support, I am now a student of the Academic Lyceum of Westminster, and I am forever thankful for all my teachers, including Akla and others. They have taught me so much, and over the course of 2 months I've learned so much, and I would just like to say thank you.
Man Dilnavoz Ortiqlarni oyisi bo'laman. Biz Real Science'dan juda ham minnatdormiz. Ular bizga qisqa muddat ichida, 2 oy ichida shu qizimga ko'p narsani o'rgatishdi. Mana qizim 1 yildan buyon shu Vestminster litseyga qiziqardi. O'zi mana Real Science'ni ham topib keldi. Birinchi o'rinlarni olgan bolalarni ko'rdi. Shularga qiziqib, mana kelib, bu ham shu Vestminster litseyidagi studentlar qatoridan o'rin oldi. Buning uchun biz Real Science
So I studied at Real Science for 2 months, and for some people this might be a very short period of time, but for me in these 2 months period I learned quite a lot of things thanks to my teachers, and the things I learned helped me a lot, helped me immensely in my exams. Almost all of the questions were from the things I learned from Real Science. A lot of the questions on the exam were already taught in Real Science, so we had already seen the questions prior to the exam, which was a huge bonus for Real Science students. So if you are wanting to enter Westminster Lyceum, I would suggest Real Science, because if you study here, I am 100% sure that you will get accepted to one of Tashkent's best lyceums, which is the Academic Lyceum of Westminster.
Oqil akaga o'z minnatdorchiligimizni bildiramiz va Real Science xodimlariga rahmat aytamiz. Real Science'ga rahmat.